Welcome into the Sharp Sports YouTube podcast. My name is Andrew Sharp. We'll be talking everything Denver sports and beyond. Please like and subscribe if you are a sports fan like me. Let's do this.
Welcome into the Sharp Sports YouTube podcast. My name is Andrew Sharp. All the Denver Nuggets managed to at least redeem themselves slightly with a 125-113 home victory in Game 5 against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Wolves still lead the series 3-2. And of course, after the Nuggets' several disastrous performances, at least they managed to show some sort of fortitude tonight and show up and beat up against basically the B- team of the Thunderwolves, which is what they have left after the injury to Anthony Edwards and fortunately the Achilles tear to Dante DiVincenzo. So the Nuggets managed to essentially not be embarrassed at home. However, the last two games against Minnesota Timberwolves, who obviously are a tough matchup for the Nuggets, it really started to make me certainly reevaluate, I should say, this team as a championship contender. Certainly because of also tonight, the other part of it was the fact that the Nuggets were yet again without Aaron Gordon. And quite frankly, they need Aaron Gordon full strength and full able body if they are going to really the long road towards the NBA title without Aaron Gordon, it's not going to work. But for tonight, at least the Nuggets come away with a redeeming victory in the sense that they don't lose a home game on their floor in the series and their season in front of the home fans. But if you were going to ask me what my thought process is and what my prospects are for the Nuggets winning the NBA title this season, that has changed a lot in the last 96 hours. Due to various circumstances, I just didn't do a video or a live stream after the Nuggets' disastrous Game 4. So I'm going to go back and talk a little bit about that, which obviously is a little bit of hearsay given the result tonight. But, Game 4, especially in Minnesota, was just non-competitive. Really, when you have several players for the Timberwolves, Io Donsoner, who I had briefly heard about, but of course was in the way station that is known as the Chicago Bulls, goes off in the way that he does and absolutely basically takes over the game with 42 points, 43 minutes and 42 minutes, 43 points. You know, that's a problem. When other guys in the Timberwolves, frankly, step up. Former Nuggets, even Bone Highland, playing 20 minutes, 8 points. Then I actually played even more minutes because of their injury situation. Bones Highland finished, I believe, with 23 minutes, 15 points. And of course, the previous guy I mentioned, Io Donasanu, started 38 minutes, 18 points, very respectable. Still did okay in the game. But really, the story of the series is the fact that the Wolves' best player, Anthony Edwards, is not in this game. And there's other starting backcourt, a fine player with the Minnesota Timberwolves in, now I'm spacing, in Dante DiVincenzo. If the Nuggets were playing this game without Jamal Murray and Christian Brown, things might be different. But they're not. And part of the NBA playoffs, unfortunately, these days, is survival of the fittest. Granted, probably the most stark example of this is when Kevin Durant went down and basically most of the other Warriors were hurt in the 2019 finals with the Golden State Warriors against the Toronto Raptors. And the Toronto Raptors went on to win the NBA Finals. Kudos to them. Kawhi was amazing, but I still contend the Warriors would have found a way to win that series had they been at full strength. But that's part of the way the league works. That's part of the way the NBA works. That's part of the way sports work, quite frankly. So it's good for the Nuggets that they got this win. However, there are deep-seated issues that were a little more deep-seated than I realized, given the winning streak that they had to end the season, have been exposed in this Minnesota series. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that right now. Now, it's not any secret at this point that Minnesota Timberwolves were built by their former GM, the Nuggets' former GM, I should say, Tim Connolly, who's now with the Minnesota Timberwolves. So he knows the strengths and weaknesses of the Nuggets roster inside and out. But I want to bring up two players that are both really, one was a homegrown signing and the other one was a free agent signing. The first one being Christian Brown, who I'm a fan of Christian. I was a little nervous when they gave him that kind of money, but I felt like he brought energy and a toughness to the team that I liked. And I thought that he played well with Nikola Jokic. But however, in this series, so far, he has been absolutely dominating in this series. So far in this series against Minnesota Timberwolves, he's averaging 9.4 points per game, 1 steal, 2 assists, 4 rebounds. For a guy who's making $25 million a year, that's going to be a problem. And unfortunately, the Nuggets in the future, as they move along, they're kind of stuck with him because there's not anybody else who's going to want to trade for that contract, because that contract has not been great this year. His overall season totals this year have been down, and unfortunately for him, him making that kind of money and averaging less than 15 points, 12 points, 4.8 rebounds on 51% field goal shooting for the season, that's a lot of money for 12 points a game. I would hope there would be, and they were hoping, the Nuggets were hoping, of course, that he would take the next leap into from 15 a game to the 18 to 20, 22 a game for a guard. It's not happening. And in the playoffs, it's been even worse. The other one was Cam Johnson, which, of course, I was excited about the Nuggets. I thought it was one of their better. I actually thought Jonas Valanciunas was a better offseason addition, but clearly that was wrong as well. But Cam Johnson, guys played in the conference finals, thought he'd be able to bring more scoring, basically be a third Nugget to score from the starting lineup. And in this quarterfinal so far against the T-Wolves, he's averaging 11.6 points per game, which is not great, Bob, as they say. It's just, through 5 games, he has 40 points total. And his 3-point percentage is at 22%. So, yes, the Nuggets won the game tonight, but in a couple of the games that they got absolutely dominated in, Cam Johnson in Game 2 had 9 points. Game 3, he had 6 points. And in Monday's loss, he had 13 points, some of which I believe a lot of that came in garbage time or close to when the game was getting out of hand in the fourth quarter. So unfortunately for the Nuggets, 2 players that really are, yes, they're on the team, but they're not. You gotta get more than 9 points and 10 points from 2 of your starting players. You just have to. The NBA is too hard. The NBA is too good. The West is too deep for the Nuggets. And even as great as Nikola Jokic is, and he was a lot better tonight, which didn't surprise me. Yes, he's had a couple rough outings, but he's an all-time great. He'll bounce back. But you got to have guys. You got to have other players on your team step up, and that's the part I'm not really convinced of at this point in the playoffs. Of course, I can talk about the coach, but it's a players' league. It's a players' league. I agree that David Adelman is probably over his head and over his skis at this point, but this is who the Nuggets ownership has chosen, I should say, to ride with. And these guys are all rich. And by these guys, I mean the players. It's a players' league, so the players got to step up. They certainly have a chance of redeeming themselves. This Nuggets team, obviously a different cast, has come back from 3-1, did it twice in the bubble. So they are capable of coming back from 3-1, and certainly the Wolves' injuries will help. But it's time to downgrade championship expectations for this team. I'll be happy to be wrong, but this series has proven to me that I'm just not sure that this team can flip the switch, because they can look pretty good like they did tonight, and then they can just decide to take off playoff games and act like it's a game in the middle of January and it's cold outside. So anyway, those are my thoughts. I'll be back after Game 6. Certainly to react to that. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching any of my content, shorts, these videos, live streams, all of it. It makes a huge difference for me, and I am eternally grateful. So once again, my name is Andrew Sharp, Sharp Sports YouTube Podcast. Thanks for tuning in.